What's up, YouTube? How you doing? It's 2:30 in the morning, and I'm wide awake, sitting here drinking coffee. I crashed out. Came home from work. I crashed out early, and what was that? Maybe they sent out they did. Cool. They sent out a notification for my live stream. Um, yeah, I was tired as shit and rolled over to Wawa, got a hoagie. And I said, you know what? I think I'm going to do a live stream. I was pretty much pissed off the other day, pissed off today even about the way the Democrats are celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. It's unbelievable. What the fuck happened to humanity? Anybody else kind of freaked out by this? You know what? Straight out of the Bible right now. Here you go. The separation between the goats and the sheep. You're seeing who's who right now. You know, people being exposed. They've literally been corrupted by demonic forces to the point where they're no longer maybe even human. They're so deep in whatever you want to call it. I mean, selfishness. I can't even come up with enough adjectives to describe it. I can sit here and rattle them off by the dozen. It's disgusting is what it is. Just can't even believe people are, they're out there celebrating. This guy got shot through the face or through the neck, sorry. And I believe his wife and kids were in the audience there. How the fuck sick can you be that you would actually celebrate that? Because you had a difference of opinion. And he stated his opinion. You didn't like it? Tough shit. You know how many times that happens in your life that people do that? You can't just go around and have that kind of mentality. We have freedom of speech, so he had every right to say what he wanted. But you libtards keep trying to fucking sell us down the river. You know what? There's fewer and fewer. What are you going to do when you turn around and the guy that was next to you on either side is no longer there because they jumped ship because they're cowards to begin with and they're crowd followers? You can't think for yourself. You ought to be fucking ashamed of yourself. You know, all you libtards that are just, follow the crowd. Now, how about thinking for yourself and knowing in your heart that shit was sick? Someone gets shot and you think it's funny. And then you're comparing them to Hitler and everything else, because he had a difference of opinion. What's that telling you? Better wake up and find out where your fucking head's at, because it's pretty sick shit. And you know what? You're just heading pretty fucking quick to the lake of fire, in my opinion, because we're real close to the end here. And you people are totally, hey, how you doing? Whoever stopped in, by the way, thank you. I mean, this fucking shit's unbelievable. The world's gone completely fucking bonkers. And I just don't like cowards. And that's what we got over in the Democrat Party there. They got shit ton of cowards. None of them will stand up against them. They all toe the company line type of deal. To go along to get along, or as long as there's a bunch of other people agree with something, you'll run along with them. But none of them have the guts, none of them have the balls to say what's on their heart, really. In my opinion. Right? Anyway, I just had to get on here and just talk about this because I've been watching this all day long, off and on, early. Like I said, I just woke up maybe 2 hours ago or something, an hour and a half ago. And it's ridiculous as shit. It's unbelievable human beings are acting this way. If this isn't a big red flag letting you know that we're at end times and you better get right with God. I don't know what's going to take, a nuclear blast going off. Don't worry, because that's on its way too, probably. The whole world's fucked. People need to wake up. And I don't think we have more than maybe a month or two before it goes into complete destruction. That's just out of hand. Hang on 1 minute. I mean, when you see it, right on national TV, like on TV, his murder, and you can sit there and laugh and act like that was funny. And what the hell is wrong? I can't believe. So, I just had to say something. Sitting here thinking about it, I'm like, what the fuck? What's wrong with the world? And another thing is that, oh, look who's here. If you can see him. The cat must have woke up. He was, what are you doing? Anyway, yeah, he's pissed off too. He was a Charlie Kirk fan, I guess. Nah, I don't think anything's going to be more of a defining moment for the world going down the drain right now. But then there's the other thing is that I think the Democrats, YouTube's starting to do the spin cycle on me. I don't know if you noticed, it just went blank or something. Yeah, because anytime anybody says anything against the Democrats, they're gonna, pull the shade down, block it, do whatever the hell they want to do. It's ridiculous. What's up, buddy? Huh? Even OJ's pissed off about it. No, it's just we live in unbelievably fucked up times. And matter of fact, somebody I know from work, he's in his 30s, mid to late 30s, and he's talking about like Charlie Kirk this and Charlie Kirk that and bad mouthing them the first day it happened. And I realized, he must have been one of the, hey, what's up? Who's that? Hey, Doc, how you doing? How you doing? Just came on, was crashed out and went over to Wawa a minute ago and got myself a sandwich. I don't know, do you guys have Wawas out there, out where you're at? And because somebody told me that there wasn't any Wawas in the next state over, or if there is, she didn't know about them. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, this person at work was like saying he deserved it. And I mean, how cold and how selfish and sick and twisted people got. I never seen anything like it. Oh, by the way, Doc, did you tell me, what's this say? How about yourself? No Wawas for pastrami Pete's. No, no, we got them. We have Wawas spelled WAWA over here. It's in Pennsylvania. Pastrami Pete's, I never heard of it. Is that a real place? Yeah, I had a hoagie. Do you guys even know what a hoagie is out there? Because my sister lived in North Carolina way back in the day near Fort Bragg. She was married to it was in the 82nd Airborne. Anyway, she told me she would go in and try to get a hoagie from a delicatessen or something. They didn't know what the fuck she was even talking about. They call them subs or something else down there. First off. Second off, up here in Pennsylvania, or actually in Delaware, but we used to live in Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania, Philly is where the hoagie more or less originated. Now I'm right across the state line, but we know about hoagies and lunch meat, but down there, evidently, down south, they cut the lunch meat really thick, and she was really turned off by that. It's better. I think lunch meat's better, paper thin and layered in a sandwich. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about a sandwich right now. What's it? Yeah, so pastrami Pete. Oh, New York. And yeah, see, so different areas have different shit. I didn't know that. Is it like a franchise? It's probably we said it's in New York and Rhode Island. Huh. Yeah, did you say you got a new job? Congratulations. I think you might have said that the other day. It's shit on my mind, and I didn't get to congratulate you. Hopefully all is good. Wait a minute. Gotta get some more coffee. Yeah, I haven't been doing too many. Yeah, haven't been doing too many live streams lately, and really lessened my. When I say lately, I mean the last few days. If you go back a week or two, I did a couple, I think. And I did one actually the other day, but if you go back 6 months, I was doing them nearly every night. But after a while, you kind of burn out on it, and it's nothing much to talk about. What's it? My cat's been enjoying. What's that? Mr. Cat's been enjoying on the road. Yeah, actually, you know what? He's actually he's pretty much laid back. Most times animals don't dig that. They think you're taking them to the vet or something. And his name is OJ. Yeah, okay, not Mr. Cat. So anyway, I had a question for you too, Doc. Have you heard from Texas 3 at all? I know he was in your neighborhood. I didn't know if you talked to him other than from the live stream. I've seen or heard anything from him. I was wondering. I hope he's all right. That's all. The fuck else was I just about to say? Oh, anyway, to get back to what I was talking about at work. This guy he's like in his mid-30s. Now, I'm a lot older than that, and I just can't understand how someone that old is acting the way they are, because usually it's the college kids. What's this thing? I have not and live women, and I've noticed he hasn't had any content on his channel. Maybe something's up. I hope he's all right. That's all. Yeah, it's been a while. I did see somebody I haven't seen for a while. Used to come on. I don't know if you know him. Bird Dog Gnome. I ain't seen him for a couple months, and you don't know if they just got booted off YouTube or what's up. Sometimes people are just too busy, or maybe they just unsubscribed. Who knows? But hopefully Texas 3 is okay. So anyway, no, and you did get it. You did get a job, correct? Yeah. Now he's been on here every now and then. He usually comes on a little earlier. You're usually roll on later. You're a night owl. He comes on like early on, usually. But I think he lives up sort of like near Lake Erie or somewhere up in that area. So you're out west. That's why you're on later. Anyway, got to get some more coffee going. Still tired. I finished my first week of the new job. It's pretty good. I like it. Actually, it's probably a lot better than most of the jobs I had, because it's nice and slow paced and easy. And at my age, you don't mind that. Oh, that's right. Yeah. You did say that. Slot machines. Yeah, a lot of times, even like after I do a live stream, everybody's talking at me and stuff. I'm trying to read them, and I can't remember who said what. And I go back to try to look at the text. Once in a rare while, I'm able to bring back the text. There is a way. I can't seem to figure out why it doesn't work all the time for me. But sometimes, yeah, can't find it, and I can't remember, who said what, especially if it's a busy live stream. And you know what? I haven't had any really busy live streams since the last time I was on this late. I don't know if you were on then. It was back around Thanksgiving of last year, and we had 725 people on there during the night, and this was weird as shit. I talk about this one often. Everybody got up at about 3:33 in the morning. Not everybody, like everybody else. Excuse me, all my moderators that came on there out of the blue went on the internet, and there I was, and there they were. And like, what the fuck? It wasn't planned or nothing. It was just like divine intervention. We were talking about how everybody had the same bad feeling something was coming. They probably were predicting the shit that's been coming the last year. I mean, I think we are close to the end the way shit's going. You know, World War III is around the corner. You know. Yes, I think you probably were, Doc. I mean, it was a lot. Actually, I got the video still in there. I can shoot it over to you, or I'll play it one time on here. It's kind of just blows me away because it's like everybody had the same weird feeling. I mean, what's the fucking odds of that? And like I said, it was 725 people. I think that was the largest live stream I had done. And now I'm lucky if I'm rolling up, 4 or 5 people because YouTube's suppressing the shit out of me. Every now and then I get a good one. What happens is after I get off the live stream, right? First off, when it ends, it's on private, and I had to go back in and put it on public, and then after that, I might get another 60 to 80 people, but nobody's able to join in hardly. I'm getting smaller crowds, and it's because what we're saying on here, I guess, isn't politically correct every time or all the time, or even sometimes any time, because I don't follow lockstep with the assholes in this world. I try to speak from my heart and from my head. I don't let somebody else write my dialogue. Fuck that. I'm tired of that shit. Controversy. Yeah. But you know what? It's interesting to talk about shit sometimes. I just don't like to live within the little confines of what they want you to talk about, what message they want put out there. Fuck you. I got the freedom of speech. I'm trying to use it here. It's bullshit. Yeah. Anyway, did you spell controversy right? Yeah, you did, actually, I think. Not that I'm any fucking judge of bad grammar or the ability to spell. You remember Art Bell? Exactly. Art Bell's a good example. Same deal. And you wonder who the fuck sits around and censors all these people. Why are they so afraid of letting the truth out? And that's what I wanted to get back to. It was a Charlie Kirk thing. Do you for a minute believe that guy that they caught is the guy that shot him? I don't know why, but this whole thing stinks to high heaven. Evidently jumped off the roof or whatever, and dismantled the gun, left the gun, and all kind of other weird shit was going on. Meanwhile, a plane took off from Utah, and they turned off their transponder so they couldn't be tracked. I think it was some other connection there, from what I heard, that it might have been an Israeli agent on, I don't know, because I'm hearing bits and pieces, and the story keeps changing. But it's weird also that it happened on 9/11, and just like 9/11, this is making an impact across the country. When half the Democrat Party is sick to their stomach, finally waking up and saying, what the fuck is this? I think they wanted to put a schism down the middle and have something like Fort Sumter, a Civil War moment where we're at each other's throats. They wanted something to light the powder keg off, and it blew up in their face. That's what I think. What's it say? I haven't looked at body of evidence yet. Yeah, and only from what I'm seeing, just something giving me bad vibes or not making sense. I'm hearing bits and pieces, and that's what happens. It comes leaking out all over the place. And then I guess the deep state or whoever wants to put their spin on it. So you can't get the truth, or you have to filter everything and go through it with a fine-tooth comb to figure out what really happened. That's how we've been getting our news since like COVID time. So little. You know what? Probably even before that. I mean, we've been lied to since the moon landing and Kennedy assassinations, and they don't plan on stopping anytime soon. They're a bunch of liars on our country. you know, sorry to say. And this is the crazy thing. I was pretty much a staunch Trump supporter there. Like I voted for him, and he did do some good stuff for the country for a while. But I don't totally trust him anymore. I don't. Matter of fact, I ain't putting any fucking trust in any of our politicians. They're all Masonic. They're all in the same club. The 33 Masons or 33rd Masons. That's the thing I want to talk about too. Is if you go back and you look in the last few YouTube videos that just came out recent, one of them had said they caught the guy who shot him in 33 hours or something. Everything they keep mentions 33. You know what that is? It's a signal, in my opinion, because I can't prove this, but it's all the time. 33 seems to be the magic number, the Master Mason magic number, I guess, and the 33rd level. But why do they keep using that? What does that say? Poltrex. Yeah. Why do they keep bringing that up? Yeah. I think it's a signal to other people in the know, to let them know that this is all psyops or pre-planned or whatever. My buddy was 33. Oh, waking up in the morning. Yeah, and that's the weird thing that you say that. Because maybe it's also something supernatural, because I was just 5 minutes ago, I was talking about waking up at 3:33. Bizarre, but maybe it's something supernatural happening. And a lot of people are like, yeah, okay, smoke another joint, dude. But in reality, I'm just saying, just because we don't understand something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There's supernatural and everything else. Some reason. If you go through all like 9/11 films and all this other shit, 33 keeps coming up. And there's other numbers too. Numerology and shit. Makes you wonder. Yeah, you were saying that the other day. I remember about your friend with the number 33. Or is it 333? I don't know, dude. It's just, shit is really weird. Really weird. And he's never been religious, but he found God now. Maybe God just opened his eyes to the scales fell away from his eyes, the biblical saying. God's always been there. We just don't look for him enough, or we don't pay attention to him. I don't care what religion, pretty much every religion has some higher power, and mine happens to be the correct one. And that's what everybody says, and that's why people are killing each other over the name of God. Whose God's bigger than the other God? But no, I just believe that. I can't even think of what the hell I was about to say next. It just froze up. Wait a minute. Well, he's never been. Oh, okay, I already thought that just came up. Yeah. So, the point being is that I don't think we pay enough. I don't think we pay enough attention in our lives. There's moments that maybe a higher power speaking to us, and we just so full of ourselves, we can't for a minute believe, hey, that wasn't really me. That was somebody giving me some wisdom. Now that was me. I'm super intelligent and I don't need God. That's what's wrong with people. They think that. They don't say, well, how did this happen? There's some driving force in our life, big time, but we can't see it. And you know what, Doc? You notice because through being you're Indian, right? By nationality or not, you know what I mean? By you, you know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say here is that they even had the Great Spirit, and they know that something supernatural is moving on the land, and I think everybody does on some level. Now, if you want to be a rebel and walk away and say you're in control of everything, I think that's when you realize at the end you weren't in control of nothing. We're like in some kind of matrix, in my opinion, being tested to see if we're worthy to move on. What's that? A higher power. Exactly. There's definitely things we don't understand. I mean, I'm just coming at it from like not as like opening up the Bible. And I'm just talking about how people who don't even crack open the Bible won't even know what you're talking about if you're just spouting off out of the Bible sometimes, because they don't have any point of reference. They don't read the Bible. But when you break it down to common sense, even, or to man, it's hard to explain what I was trying to say. I'm getting too deep for this time of night. But what I'm saying is people need to do more inward thinking, or figure out, what's going on in our lives. It's not all us doing these things. There's things moving on the land as we speak. I hope I'm not bore-assing people, because I'm getting really philosophical. Or basically, you know what? I think I'm going to back off this conversation, because it won't be long. I'll start getting the circle of death from YouTube if I just keep talking about God. That's the thing. You're not even allowed to hardly bring God into the equation or into the conversation, because people get bent out of shape. What's so wrong about believing that there's a God? A lot of people have issues and think you're crazy. You're out of your fucking mind if you believe in a higher power. Whatever. It is what it is. What's that? Oh, wait a minute. Introspective. Thank you. That's a good word for it. Anyway, wanted to get back to what I was saying earlier about what the hell is wrong with the youth in our country. But I can answer that pretty quickly. No God. They don't have a in God we trust kind of mentality, or they took prayer out of school. You're not allowed to even talk. The Democrats got pissed off the other day because someone wanted to say prayers for Charlie Kirk. Why would that have been so offensive to them? You see, and you can come up with some excuses, but they would let a Muslim imam have a prayer rug and do what he wanted to do. But they hate Christians, and they're going to continue to hate them. And what does that tell you? Tells you that the Bible is dead on right. That just like Christ, they're coming after the Christians next. In my opinion, what's it say? Loose as a goose. All right. Anyway, I'm just rambling right now because it's almost 3:00 in the morning, and I'm tired, and I had some coffee, but I'm trying to fucking wrap my head around what the fuck is wrong with people nowadays. And I blame a lot of it on the COVID whole nightmare thing, where they made people freaking not trust each other, stay 6 feet apart, wear a mask, hide your identity, all this other horse shit. It fucked people's minds up. Little kids were told to wear their mask everywhere, and as long as they could, long after we were allowed to, take that fucking wrap off of our face, then the children were still in school with it on. That's psychological torture in a way. Those kids were all messed up from that, and they had them so full of fear. What's that? Goosage. Gossage, or I can't even read that. But you know, they had these kids so full of fear. Anyway, I think probably what I'd do is just how long I've been on here. I've been bore asking you guys for half an hour. I got another 10 minutes left, I think. Gossage. Is that what that says? I remember Goose Gossage. He was a pitcher for the Yankees back in the 70s. That's how old I am. And a pretty damn good one. I think he was a Fireman of the Year. He won a. He was at least. Yeah, I think he did. One of the best relievers the Yankees had there for a little while. What's that? When you're a Thurman Munson fan. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Thurman Munson, big time. Yep. I had his baseball card and everything. That was screwed up. So, you remember Thurman Munson? Yep. Do you remember Catfish Hunter? Catfish Hunter blew a couple of his toes off with a shotgun while he was hunting. Guess he wasn't much of a hunter. The only thing he was able to get was his toes. He blew like 2 or 3 toes off. Yeah. So, and then they had, let me see if I can remember, Oakland A's was my team back in the day. Of course, you had Reggie Jackson before he went to the Yankees. He was in Oakland A's. Joe Rudy, he was another outfielder. Let's see who else. Bert Campaneris, I believe, was shortstop there. Third base was Sal Bando. I knew the whole lineup. Oakland was my team back then. Should have stuck with catfishing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, evidently that really happened. You know how I know? I got it from a reliable source, the back of a baseball card. I think it said like fun facts. Catfish blew his toes off on his vacation. Yeah, they had little. Now I forget where I heard it. Vita Blue. You're right. Vita Blue was pretty damn good. Yep. Who else did they have? They had a lot of good guys on that team. It's like catching lightning in a bottle when all the right pieces come together. It's like but the Yankees had it a shit ton of times because money talks and horse shit walks, you know. And Steinbrenner wasn't afraid to come off the money and buy the right players. So he's basically buying a World Series ring every year, you know. Steinbrenner was evidently kind of an asshole, like a Jerry Jones. But I tell you what, I think he was better than Jerry Jones by a mile. You know, because Jerry Jones didn't know when to fucking back away, or still doesn't know. He's with the Cowboys there, and he's interfering all the time with things that he shouldn't even. Look, if you're a billionaire or millionaire, whatever the hell he is, and you're putting money into building a team and all this, that's great. But you hired people to do that. You don't need to, your ego doesn't need to be that inflated that you got to go out on the field and prove you can do a better job than the guy you hired for. And if you hired somebody that isn't up to your standards and you're going to micromanage them, what's that saying about you and your ability to hire talent? You know, what's it say? Remember Steinbrenner on something? Yeah. I was just thinking that. Yep. George Costanza worked for him. George used to hide under his desk or something in his office when people walked by. That was a great show. Yeah, Seinfeld. Yeah, but that was kind of sad though when Thurman Munson died in that plane crash, and same thing with Roberto Clemente. Maybe a year or two apart. I think he died. He was flying down to Guatemala. He was from Puerto Rico. He's a national hero down Puerto Rico. They love him to this day. And he was going down to help earthquake victims in Guatemala, I believe it was. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he did. With Steinbrenner, yeah. Yeah, but anyway, Roberto Clemente. Man, it's a shame he didn't get a few more years. He was awesome. He could have done so much more. By the way, I was telling somebody this other day, Pirates, exactly. Pirates were great too for a couple years there. I was in an antique shop down near where I live here in Wilmington, and there was an autograph book from the 1950s. Okay, and mostly, you know how kids at the end of the year they have their little autograph books and they let their friends, sign it and shit. Well, this thing had that in the front, and then it had real autographs in it. Of, the circus was in town, so and so signed it, and then baseball teams were in there, and Hank Aaron's fucking rookie autograph was in there. The Milwaukee Braves, I believe it was, and all these other guys. I couldn't fucking believe what I found. I paid $99. No, I didn't. That's another story. I paid a lot less than that because they just thought it was an autograph book, and I was paging through it, and I saw Henry Aaron, and I saw all these other Don Zimmer's autograph was in there. There was different people from that. What's this? I remember Willie Stargell. Yep. Pops. Yep. They had Dave Parker. That guy had a cannon for an arm. He could be all the way against the wall, catch a fly ball and have it at home plate, no time. Just throw that thing like it was shot out of a cannon. Dave Parker. They also had Manny Sanguin was a catcher. He eventually went to the A's, if I remember correctly. What's that? Remember Don Zimmer busting his ass? Yeah, you know what? I met Don Zimmer, Joe Torre, and Mel Stottlemyre came in Delaware Park. I was working at Legends Restaurant. Got their autograph and everything back in the day. And they were playing the horses in Legends Restaurant. We had a machine you could bet, and there are TVs in there, and these guys had stacks of fucking horse racing tickets, and they were spending like $50 a bet and more. And so when they left, there were like piles of them. We were all like running them through, hoping they missed one that was a winner. Ran them through the machine. Oil can took them down. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. Yep. Was that Boston? Was he? Yeah. Oil can was that? What was his name? Fuck, I can't think of his name. I can't even think of that. What the guy's name was. It was a pitcher. What? Oh, Martinez. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking of somebody else, but yes, you're right, Martinez. Yep. Is baseball one of your favorite sports, Doc? Which of all the sports, which one do you like the best? Me, it's football, but growing up watching baseball was always great. But now I look at it, it's kind of slow and boring. Even when I worked over at the minor league club, it's like in Wilmington, it kind of gets slow sometimes. They had me till the 82 strike. Yeah. That kind of sucked, dude. Huh. Dude, you must be kind of close to my age too. I remember that. I'll tell you what. Back then they weren't getting paid what they're getting paid now. What they're getting paid now is fucking criminal. Nobody should be getting paid that kind of money to play a fucking game. But at the same moment, why should the owners get all that money and the guys that are actually on the field performing not get a nice chunk of it? So it's all in the way you look at it. You're older? Nah. How old? I'll tell you how old I am, dude. I'll let you take a guess. Try to guess how old I am. I don't think you're gonna get it. Tell you what. if you get it, I'll send you a Josey Wales shirt. I'm making up Josey Wales shirts for my channel. Nah, I'm kidding. But I'll send you one at what, 54? Nope. Higher. Higher than 54, dude. 61. Fucking old man, dude. Young at heart, though. Yeah. I'll tell you the truth, I don't even feel like 60 years went by. I feel like, who was it, Captain America that got frozen in the block of ice? Lost like half his life. What's that? Beholding it. Yeah. I mean, I got some gray coming out now, but other than that, I got a little bit of crow's feet that are turning into ostrich legs. They're so fucking big that I call it my Clint Eastwood squint. Yeah. No, I'm like, I think truly because I got all my hair. I'm cutting it off tomorrow. I'm going to get a marine cut, real short, I think. No, but I think because what's it say? Got 4 years to go. Yeah. I think basically, if you believe that you're young, I think you hold up a hell of a lot better, and you're not miserable all the time. I think all that shit shows up on your face and on your you lose your hair and all this constant worry. And well, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense because I've worried a lot in my life, so I still got all my hair. What's this shit? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I'm old, dude. I'm fucking old. But again, young at heart, young in mind. I sure as shit don't act like I'm 61 because I'm not letting go of my youth. And that's another key thing. Sometimes it pays to fucking act younger than you are. Yeah. Don't take yourself too fucking serious that you give yourself ulcers and I think if you keep some of that youth hanging around, you stay younger looking. At least that's my theory. I'm running with it. Anyway, dude, I think how time is it? 3:08. What's it to be young at heart? Yeah, exactly. But you know what? My dad was real young looking. Here's the thing. This is karma. When I was like 21, for Christ's sake, small for my size, right? And man, I used to get carded everywhere. People didn't believe anything. So now it's playing back the other way. Now I'm an old man and I look young. So, what goes around comes around. Getting rewarded for putting up with the bullshit. I was 21, hassled. Go in to get a beer. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it a night and end it right here. There's only what's this? Get some. All right, have a good one, Doc. Good talking to you. See anybody else who's on there. See you whenever I do the next live stream. Thank you. Appreciate you all. Hit me with a thumbs up if you can. Subscribe. Have a good night. See you guys.